All right. Thanks for tuning in to story number 2 of 7. So let's go right to it. My question to you is, who do you typically follow? And I think that it's very important that we follow the right people to avoid some major learning curves and some pain in our life, right? So I want to take us back to about when I was 15 years old, living in Puerto Rico with my mom and her husband at the time. Husband was a pretty cool guy, business owner, pretty successful, I would say, and he wanted to buy a boat. I thought this was a fantastic idea, number one, because I love the water. I had been scuba diving since I was 11 years old, and number two, you know, who doesn't want to be on a boat, right? So he buys the boat and he decides that on his very first boating experience, we're going to go to a little place off the coast of Puerto Rico called Isla Icaco, which happens to be a little slice of heaven, by the way. Absolutely pristine and gorgeous. And we're going to take the whole family, including his parents, my little sister, myself, and my mother. We're going to take a tent, camping gear, dominoes, tables, booze, food, all that other stuff. And we're going to go camping overnight on an island off the coast of Puerto Rico. Now, of course, these guys are all adults, right? So I'm trusting that they know what they're doing. So we get on the boat and we start to take off. And as we get closer to the island of Icaco, I'm starting to get really excited because the water is so pristine and crystal clear. You can see all the way to the bottom floor. You can see all kinds of marine life and coral just everywhere. As we get closer to the island, you see this beautiful little island with this powdery white, sandy beaches with little red freckles on them, with this plush vegetation right in the middle. And it's just full of boats. Everybody's anchored up. Everybody's having a great time. Kids are playing everywhere. Music is playing everywhere. You know, typical Puerto Rican style, right? So I'm just in my element. I got my snorkel gear on. I'm snorkeling, checking out all the fish. Then I start hanging out with my little sister. We start to build sandcastles. We're playing with other kids. I mean, it's just a fantastic start to the day. Right around midday, I noticed that a lot of the boats start to leave. And we're just getting ready, right? We're putting up the tents, we're prepping the fire. My mom has this big old pot of chicken fricassee, which is like amazing chicken stew. She's starting to warm that up. All the adults are playing dominoes, they're drinking beer, rum and coke, they're having a great time. Me and my little sister, again, we're chilling and hanging out. And then as it gets a little bit later, more and more boats start to leave the island. It gets to the point where there's only 2 boats left. It's us, which we're anchored in, all set up with tents and the whole deal, and this other family that's inside of a yacht looking at us through the outside of their cabin, through some windows. And I'm the only one noticing this, right? And I'm like, why are they looking at us? And why are we the only other people on this island? Everybody else is gone. My family is all into the moment and the experience and playing dominoes and drinking and having a great time. They're not noticing any of this. So about 30, 45 minutes later, a swarm of, I'm going to say killer mosquitoes, because that's exactly what they were, comes out of the center of this island, and they start to feed off of us. And I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of mosquitoes. I'm not even exaggerating. And it was so bad that at one point I jumped into the water just because I figured I don't want to get stung anymore, right? I don't want to get bit. So I jumped into the water, and through the crown of my head, which is the only little piece, because I had my snorkel, my mask on, I was underneath the water, just the little crown of skin that was on my head, they were biting me through there, right? So my family's freaking out. They start ripping down the tent. They start throwing stuff into the boat, right? My little sister's screaming. She's yelling. You would hit yourself, and you would kill 10, 15 mosquitoes at a time, and that's how bad this thing was. Fast forward about 20 minutes. Now we're on the boat. We're heading back to Puerto Rico. It's starting to get dark, and I'm looking around, and we're all blotchy with blood, and we got bites all over the place. And my little sister's crying in a little corner. She's crying. She's got these little boogies, and all the mosquitoes still stuck on her boogies. And I know this sounds gross, but I really want to help you see the picture, right? And I remember thinking to myself, man, you just have to be so careful on who you follow. You got to make sure that you're following people that know what they're doing, that have the answers to the questions that you have in your life. You got to make sure that you're not hanging out with people that are going through the learning curve themselves, because although it started off fun and exciting, it was cool and it was great, ended up very, very painful. I mean, we were itching for weeks after that. I remember I had calamine lotion all over the place for days at a time, and it just wouldn't get any better. Be careful who you follow. Make sure that you're following people that have the right answers. If you're looking for outstanding relationships, go find somebody who has an outstanding relationship and do what they do. If you're looking for somebody who has incredible finances, go get advice from people that have achieved that financial level of success. Don't take advice from people that are worse than you are, right? So I hope that helps, guys. Rock and roll. Be blessed. See you tomorrow with story number 3. Ciao.